Welcome once again here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. My name is Paul Condry, I'm president and founder of Regional Radio Sports, longtime friend, former athletic director, but women's basketball coach here at Indiana University here in South Bend in Indiana. Steve Bruce spending time with us, and glad to have this young lady back for another go-around. How about the fact that Tenleigh Phelps is going to come back? She's going to use that graduate year to be able to spend another year here in the Student Activity Center. And I think that's a great place to start here, Coach, and simply from the fact, and I'll just let the numbers speak as they are, Tenleigh last year, right around 30 minutes a game, she shot 56% from the field, and eye-popping 84% from the charity stripe, 6 rebounds, a couple assists, a steal, and averaged 17.5 points a game. You've had a lot of really good players in this program, but she presents all kinds of difficult options for other teams because she can go inside and she can shoot from the perimeter. She is a difficult matchup no matter who has to guard her. So let's talk about what she's meant to the program, and you're thrilled she's back for another run.
Yeah, for sure. Jumping away from the statistical stuff, and I notice this every day, but particularly yesterday. Where am I going to go with this? The great Don Meyer told me once that your best player needs to be either A, your hardest worker, or B, have your best team attitude. And if your best player doesn't have one of those two things, you have no team. And so Tenleigh's unquestionably our hardest worker. And, I said this to the team, I don't know when, maybe a week ago or something like that. It's not always that way,
Oh, yeah.
And she was a Division I transfer from Youngstown. She was going to be on the Indiana All-Star group and had the ACL injury before her, before that ever got to go, right? So I guess it's not unusual for there to be a history of kids that transfer down who are your best players, but they're not either A, your hardest worker, or B, best have your team attitude. So we have a true team because she's our hardest worker. In addition to that, leadership is on a 1 to 10 scale. She's a 9.5, and I would say 10, but there's always room for us to get a little bit better, right? And then the statistical stuff is it speaks for itself.
Yeah. Tenleigh, what was the reason you decided to come back?
I would say definitely Coach Bruce is one of the greatest people I've ever been around. I think that he cares so much about you as a person. It's not just about basketball, and I feel like that is one of the most important things because basketball is a very, very short time period when you look at the overall grand scheme of things, and just the way that he cares about us as people, about what's going on in our lives. So I was very excited for that. And then the team, I love the team. The team is, we say it probably 5 times a week. It's not just friends or not just teammates. These are family. And that is just, it makes it so much easier to say, hey, I want to come back here and I want to play, my last year here.
I remember the first year you came in, there was a really, really talented group of gals that had really, I tell you what, they rewrote the record books. They were probably the greatest team in the history of Indiana University women's basketball here in South Bend. And you fit in well. And then last year you find yourself in a situation where, the surrounding parts they may not have had the same talented skill sets or experience or success. And so the dynamics were a little bit different. And I thought last year, even though you didn't win as many games, but I thought you adapted with the talent around you even better than you did when you were around that really, really talented group. And that's not a knock against anybody else. I thought what it says to me from my vantage point up in the press area is that you have you're almost kind of like a chameleon. You can adapt into any type of competitive situation that you've been thrown into. And so my question is immediately is, where does that come from? Where does your ability to be able to survive and adapt regardless of your surroundings? I think that's one of the greatest traits. Coach will tell you that when you get out in the real world, if you can adapt in that situation, no matter what you try, whatever your chosen path of what your career is going to be, you're going to be successful because you have already attained one of the greatest life skills you'll ever have.
I would say that for me, like even if I know I'm walking in somewhere and I'm not the best, I think that I will still like carry the attitude like I am the best. And even if you're
That's
you know,
fine.
I'm
I
not
love
I'm
that
not
idea.
always the best everywhere I go, but I think that just having the confidence, having the you have to have confidence in yourself for other people to have confidence in you. And I think just specifically for the team, I think everyone like should have that mindset and should have that like just feeling like I might not be the best, but I will walk in any building, I'll walk in any gym and have that confidence in myself, have that confidence in my teammates, have that confidence in my coach that we are the best.
Steve, that is a generational type kid who has that mindset. And we don't get them very often in our lifetime, do we?
Nope, absolutely. We got lucky with Tenleigh Phelps, that's for sure. I don't know how everything got started, but I remember talking to her on the phone, and she was telling me about Youngstown and that kind of her situation there, and I'm trying to tell her that, listen, I don't want to sound like every other coach who's recruiting you, but this is what I think is real here, and I think based on what you're telling me that this would be a good place for you. And so whoever's pulling the strings up above fixed things out for us nicely, and she has been she got a chance to have a great year. I mean, she's probably the leading candidate for Player of the Year in the CCAC this year, and probably would have been the last 2 years, if Jessica Carruthers hadn't been around.
Yeah, but she had a really good career too.
So, anyways, we're super excited for Tenleigh to lead our team this year.
19-9 a year ago, 12-8 in league play, 12-3 here at the Student Activity Center, 7-6 on the road. So I know right from the get-go, numerically speaking, you got to be better on the road. And those are pivotal situations, especially in league play. And I know that some of those great teams you've had in the past, they almost went on the road with a mindset, we own you. As much as I hate to bring Aaron Rodgers into the conversation after his games against the Bears where he says, we own you. I mean, and some of the teams in years past have had that mindset going on the road and say, we still, I don't care where we play you, we own you. So let me talk about being more successful on the road with this current group that you have coming in. Based upon the roster that we have in front of us here right now, do you think this team will be better on the road than last year's group?
This is going to be a better team this year, unquestionably, all the way around. And so we took a step back last year. I guess that was just going to happen when we lost 4,500 points from the previous year. Nobody was really happy about it. 19 wins, so people will say, well, you had a pretty good year, and it wasn't a pretty good year in our minds. And we want to bounce back this year, and we want to get some of that edginess that we had, for the last couple years.
Swag.
Where we're not the most probably most liked group that people play against, but we kind of don't care, and we're just gonna be rough and tumble, and they either adapt or they don't. So I think we'll have some of that back this year. In answer to your question.
All right. Well, before we talk specifics about the roster. Terry Lake's been with you for such a long time, and I'm such a big fan because he earned the most important title in the history of the world, the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, as a member of the United States Marine Corps, and you know where I feel about that. Paige Avery, Taylor Trenshaw, Tia Chambers, all those gals have spent time in your program, and so you understand the dynamics and how they feel. So let's talk collectively about your coaching staff that you assembled, because you're only going to be as good as those great people that you've surrounded yourself with. And you know this because your dad was one of the greatest coaches in the history of Ohio, and you understand the mindset of the whole thing. So give me an idea where we're at. Well, I think I got that right. Ohio, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
First of all, I'm and this could be a fault of mine, but I am not someone who hires cold, quote unquote. Like, the people that I need to be around need to be in my circle.
Right.
So, Paige played here for 4 years. This is, year 3 for her, maybe, coaching. I was just dumb enough not to recruit Tia out of high school, but we got lucky that she came for her 5th year.
Yeah.
And then, she's joined in as part of the family, so this will be year 2 for her. Tenleigh played for 5 years. She took her 5th year here, and she's been helping us ever since then. So the former players, I'll never stray away from that. Coach Leake stumbled on that. Just, actually, Goshen was looking for an assistant coach way back when. He happened to call me on the phone to see if I knew anybody at Goshen, maybe to help him out a little bit. And then I thought, well, I guess I know Stephanie Miller a little bit, but, but how'd you like to come here instead? And
That's a good pickup.
So he mulled that over, and he's been with us now. This is year 9 for him coming up, and he does. He's just a nice balance for me because he's got a great balance between having fun with the girls, and then he can click it into serious mode right away. And when he clicks it into serious mode, they know it's serious mode, So, and not everybody can do that. Some people are one way or the other, but he's really good at doing both. And so he just keeps things light, and when it needs to be light, and serious when it needs to be serious. And so I couldn't have a better group, really.
Tenleigh, your thoughts on the coaching staff?
I think it's a great group. It's overall a great group. I think Coach Leake, like Coach Bruce just said, is just so good at, 1 second we're messing around, doing, still taking it seriously, but like having fun with it. And then I would say probably most of the girls are a little scared of Coach Leake when Coach Leake, flips the switch. And I think that's great to have, because with Coach Bruce is more, you're playing college basketball. You have to be responsible and take accountability for yourself. Like he says it all the time that, we just have to figure it out. Because when we get into big games, when we get into, louder, larger environments, we're not going to be able to hear him. We're not going to be able to whatever. So he's more of a figure it out, take accountability, work as a group. And Coach Leake is more of the aspect of, I'll let you know what, if you make a mistake, when you come out, I'll tell you. And if it keeps happening, then, that's when he gets a little more serious. And I think it's a great balance. It's a great balance to have. And then with the assistants, with them already playing here and being around Coach Bruce and knowing what the expectations already were for them, and then now obviously the same for us, it just makes it easier for them to relate to us and our situations. So I think it's a great coaching staff.
Based upon the current roster, now keep in mind that you have a couple people who are not going to be with you. I know the Elmore tore ACL. I know you were really excited about that, Steve. You told me that during the off season. But based upon this roster that I have right here in front of me, Tenleigh, I'm going to ask you what I normally ask Steve to start out this. But how do you assess this year's roster? And let me give you a real easy, open-ended question. We're going to have a great year because these young people are going to step up. There's the roster. So tell me who, as the KG veteran of this group that you are, who's going to have to step up for this team to take it to the next level, to get into that 25 and 30 win plateau? How about that?
Yeah, last year, I think you asked me something similar, maybe something along the lines, and my first thought was Keely Hudson. I think Keely Hudson she can be a dog if, she wants to be a dog. And I think that in the off season, just with the practices that we've had so far, I think Keely is stepping up, not even talking about talent, just in leadership. I think that, every day I hear Keely's voice, every day I hear, and I think that is one of, the biggest ones for us was just her stepping into that more so like leadership role. And then just with all of the, sophomores now, I think that last year was more of just like a, transition. You're transitioning from high school to college, and it's human to be scared, be
Sure,
timid,
yeah,
be
it
whatever.
is.
And I think this year that is what needs to go away. The timidness, you've been here for a year, the rust is off.
Yeah, no more excuses.
Right. And I think already, again, with the practices, there's so much visible improvement with every girl on the roster right now. And I think that, that's what we were all hoping for, was that we could come back after the summer and after, the little break and just say everyone got better. And because every day in practice, coach says get 1-2% better today. And if everyone as a group gets 1 to 2% better every single day, then we're going to be a really good team, and we're going to be a hard team to beat. So I think the, just not being scared, not being, timid. Everyone on this roster is here for a reason, and it's because they're good. And it's because they, not just on the court, but every girl on this roster is a great person. And when you have a bunch of great people and a bunch of great, I had a word and I lost it. But when you have, as good a people as we have on this team, I'm losing it again.
Steve, I'm going to interject here, because she has become so much more articulate, and the way she goes about it from the first time that we had her, she has grown exponentially in her ability to communicate. And I think that is awesome, because after this year, you're going to have to go out in the real world, and you're going to have to prove your mettle, as they say. And she understands the mindset. She would be, I don't know if she's planning on going into coaching, but I'd want to play for someone like her because of what she's talking about. And that is, the ultimate goal is to have your players, and is to be an extension of you, or Coach Leak, or whoever the case may be, that they are an extension of you, not only when they're on the sack floor, but when they're in the locker room, when they're in class, when they're doing all the things. And to me, that Tenleigh has grown up a lot in just the short time that I've known her. And I can't even imagine what it's like to look at her and watch her and listen to her now. Man, this is new age stuff. I use that terminology.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What say you?
Well, we have, at the end of practice every day, we have, we call it a circle of positivity. We do it in the locker room now. We used to do it in midcourt. Same thing. And we alternate classes. So freshmen one day, sophomores next. And because we have only one senior, we combine the juniors and the seniors, and then the coaches, and then we have a gratitude day. So, but anyways, I'm always interested to see what Tenleigh's going to say, because she's very thoughtful with what she says. It's not just, okay, hey, everybody worked hard today, let's get better. It's not generic stuff. It's stuff that you can dig into, and it's got meaning behind it, and power behind it. So I'm agreeing with you on your observation.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Rosters here. Who's going to have a great year for the Titans?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say, we're really excited about our team this year. Our three freshmen, so Andrea Benefield, 1,000-point scorer. In high school, Lindsay Arcella, 1,000-point scorer. Ava Grant had put up 36 one day for Center Grove, which is the highest. Those three kids were all in the top 60, and they're all good players. And they have all exceeded my expectations. I knew they were good players. They're better than I thought they were. And I think, Tenleigh talking about last year's group making the jump to be sophomores this year, these three freshmen right here are ahead of where last year's freshmen are, unquestionably. Would you agree with me on that?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sophomore group now has made, I think, a really large jump from being freshmen to being sophomores. They're brand new this year. So all the freshman stuff that they had last year that needed to, we wished had gone away sooner than it did.
Yeah.
is out the door now.
Yeah.
Like, they walked in July when we had our little mini camp with a little bit of swagger, and so we're a young group. Tenleigh's our senior. We've got 3 juniors. Ashley Schramm coming off an ACL. She'll be ready to play at some point. I think that'll really help us because we'll have some size in the post. Porter Barrickman and Lizzie Graham. Those are our 3 juniors. And then you go down to the sophomore class, and I'll include Olivia, even though she's out this year. We've got 6 of them, and it's a really good class. It's a really good class. I mean, we have 2 dynamic point guards in Kenzie Falks and Sydney Geralds. Tenleigh mentioned Keeley. Brady Chambers, outstanding. Aubrey Booker, I don't think she missed a shot in practice yesterday, right? I mean, that sophomore class is really good. And then, as I mentioned, the 3 freshmen blending in. So, again, I'm not sure I'm answering your question, but I think our group, if we, here's how I'll say it. IU South Bend has a chance to have a great season if IU South Bend doesn't lose to IU South Bend, meaning that, you know, we don't get in our own way. We don't turn the ball over. We get blockouts when we're supposed to. We don't foul unnecessarily. You know, we just take care of the things that that good teams do. They minimize mistakes. And if we can do that, we have the talent to, and I don't know if we can be 31-2 again, but we can be pretty darn good. And we're you get to the national tournament a few years in a row, and then you don't go for 1 year.
Oh yeah,
that's not a good feeling at all. Like we want to get back there this year. That's high on the list. So we're going to do it.
Tenleigh, we hope you have an amazing senior season and embrace all those final stops at all those schools. Embrace the opportunity. I mean, I'm just going to say hypothetically, you got probably 40 games left maybe in your career. I think that would be really happy for Coach Bruce if this team plays 40 games because that means you're going to be finishing your career in Sioux City. That would be really neat. It's been awesome to see how much you've grown.
Thank you.
From my chair, I mean, I'm not at practice every day, so I don't get a chance to see the stuff. But just my interaction with you, it's I know that everybody around you who's played a pivotal role in your life and your development have done a great job, and you've embraced that, and I think that's a great place to be. So congratulations. We hope you have a great year.
Thank you.
Coach, as always, great to hang out with you.
Same.
Appreciate all you do, man.
Thank you.
Once again, that's going to do it from Indiana University here in South Bend, Indiana. Steve Bruce, Tenleigh Phelps. We'll be back with more of our continuing coverage of Indiana University South Bend athletics right after this.